Excellent, guys. We have reached an amazing results in development of user interface. Okay, we will keep now going. So now when the keyboard is showing, we will be resizing the cover image. Okay, let's do it now. So if you think, just let me ask you the questions, and I think experienced programmers could answer this with no any hesitation. Let's say if we want to resize this cover image, what should we do? Do we need to resize the height of this physical image view, or we need to resize constraints? You got 5 seconds to answer. Those who are answered we need to resize height of it, wrong. The correct answer will be to resize the constraints or the height constraint of this cover image view. I'll explain you why. As you remember, this our image view, which is cover, we have sticked it to the left, we have sticked it to the top, and we have sticked it to the right. And we declared always to keep the same height of this image view, so it won't get resized. So for that purpose, as constraints are forced to take control over the object's alignment, we need to resize the height of it. Okay, so I believe some of you might make a mistake while selecting the constraint. Do one thing, select the cover on the left panel, which you can open by clicking this button. Select the cover. So now it will show you the constraints. Select this constraint, which is height, by just point on it, keep for 1 second, and it will highlight it. Click on this, and it will show you in the attribute inspector that this is cover PNG's height. Okay, call now assistant editor. Here we will create IB outlet connection because we want to access this height of the cover in the code and we want to manipulate it. Select this constraint, hold left control and left mouse click, drag to our class and release it. I will name it the same, cover image view underscore height. Or what I think would be the greatest idea rather than that one, if we will manipulate not the height, if we will just move the physical object up. Okay, let's do it. Let's move the physical object up. Okay, you can select that one. You can select the top constraint, select the cover, point here, so it will show you, or you can scroll down on the left panel, come here, cover PNG top, hold Control left mouse click, drag and release, and I will name it cover image view underscore top, so it's a top constraint. Okay, so I'll now navigate to login view controller. These are our user interface objects, and here I will write constraints. Constraint objects. Okay, so we now want to move this up. We want to move it up. So we are coming back to our keyboard, will show. So if in case if we are resizing the constraints, the best way to do that, do not do it in animation. First, before animation, we will declare it right over here, and we will write the code to resize it. Okay, here we can write cover image view top dot constant equals to, we want to subtract 75 pixels, so it will be approximately like this, which is quite enough. Minus equals 75. So this expression means deduct from itself a 75 pixels. So we are deducting 75 pixels from current vertical position. So this is what we have done now. And but why we haven't done it in the animation closure? Because once we have done it, so we have this declared, it didn't take actions. So means when we declare this, even if we put it, let's say, in animation, it won't have an effect. So when we deduct this, it doesn't take an actions. To let it take the actions, we need to write a following method, which is self.view.layout if needed. So layout if needed means if there have been any changes related to the layout or constraints, please lay out this. If needed means if there is any changes based on the previous values. Let's say before it was 100, we deducted, for example, 75, so it will be 25. So if it see any changes, so it will lay out this if needed. Self view means whatever in the current view controller in its view, lay out this if required. Okay, so it doesn't take action till forced. Here we are forced to update the layout. Okay, so this is what we have done. The same we're doing when the keyboard is about to be hidden. So we write cover image view top dot constant, and what do you think what we need to do then? Exactly. Here we have deducted 75 pixels. Here we need to add these 75 pixels. So this picture is moved up by 75 pixels when the keyboard is showing. Then we want to move it down when the keyboard is hidden. Okay. Okay. So here we are adding 75 pixels to it, and we will force to update the layout. Self.view.layout if needed. Some of you might be having the question why we write here view. Let me show it to you. So we go to main storyboard. This is our view controller. This means self. So the full view controller. If we open this, then we see view. This is a white space view. If we open the view, then all these objects are stored in the view. So that's why we write self current view controller view, and whatever in this view we need to lay out. Okay, so it shows some error. It was just a bug. Okay, so let's see now. I'll click on this, I'll stop it, and I'll click one more time, because in my case the keyboard didn't get appeared. So I click that and we see that this cover is getting updated, and we hide it, it's coming back, it's getting updated. So when you play with the command and key button, you might have this bug which you will never be having if you will use a real device, iPhone. So here, when the keyboard doesn't appear, it shows you a bug. But on your iPhone, whenever you press this text field, the keyboard definitely will be appearing. So in this case, you can ignore this bug, and there is no any mistake. So it's now getting moved up, and it's getting moved down. So the next step will be for us to resize to play with this logo.